Hi, good good evening, everyone. Good evening, and this very late evening on Saturday, the 7th of September 2019, live from Wimbledon. Thank you very much for joining this video. Thank you very much for listening to my broadcast. Um, yeah, hit the notification button and please subscribe to this channel in case you like what my content. This will help me to grow the channel. And today I think that I have a very interesting topic for everyone who is working in sales or has anything to do with negotiations, with speaking with prospects and speaking with customers, and who needs to persuade the customers or the prospects in order to achieve a goal, or who wants to negotiate something, and is aiming to negotiate a positive result. So today's topic will be about how to persuade a customer the best way, and what is the best method how to get to your goal. And so actually, in my opinion, it's a little bit, I would say, you have to hypnotize your customer. You have to hypnotize your prospect. And someone will say, like, are you using like allowed techniques, or are you possibly using something which is like shamanagan, and which is actually not fair, with not a fair treatment, how to deal with your customer. But the way the opposite is the case. It's just a specific kind of language which you can use, and which is specifically directly addressing the subconscious of your customer. And they are specific. You can learn this. I think that the first time I came across this type of communication was as I was reading the book of Tony Robbins, Awaken the Giant Within, as I was 17 years old. And this was then the first time that I came across the methods of NLP, like neuro-linguistic programming. And I didn't really get too much into it, but I finished the book with 17. I don't know if I remember too much of this, but recently, coming back to sales and having to do with customers on the phone, I was looking for mentors who can teach me this topic in the best way. And my mentor, and I mentioned this many times, is Tim Taxis from Germany, or was mainly Tim Taxis from Germany, who is a very successful German trainer for cold calling and for prospecting via phone. And he's using a language which he is, I don't know, he's more a practical guy. So he came from the practical perspective. He was doing this cold calling practice, cold calling for such a long time, that coming across so many customers and speaking to so many prospects, he just debriefed himself and tried many times something how he can get better after each call. And he gets to the moment where he just developed such an methodology which is super effective. But I have studied also other authors, like, for example, Mr. Andrzej Blatko. He's a Polish author, but he was also writing in English, and he's not alive anymore. So he wrote the book, The Art of Persuasion, The Language of Influence and Manipulation. It's a great book, really a great book, because it is somehow, for me, it was a proof that speaking directly to the subconscious is actually possible. And it requires an understanding of how the subconscious works. So, for example, in another video I've done for you guys, I was explaining that usually a prospect or a customer who is on the phone does have like 5 specific questions which needs to be addressed when you want to introduce yourself. Within the introduction, this 5 question has been: who is calling, how long does the call will take, what does the caller wants from me, how can I benefit out of that, and finally, what is like the most what can I get the most out of it, like what is the topic which I can grip the most, or like what's the highest benefit level of benefit I can get of this call. And at least this four questions, the first four questions, are all the time on the subconscious mind of the prospect. So addressing them in the proper way, and I made another video about this, about the introduction, is actually speaking to the customer, and regardless what he's talking through the phone, who is consciously, trying to communicate to us, we are directly speaking, surpassing this conscious level, and we're directly addressing this type of questions. And this is highly, highly effective. This is leveraging your ability to achieve closes on the phone, with any, and it's not only the phone. I think, like also in normal life, when you understand the language of persuasion, how it works, and so there is some tacting behind. There are some keywords which actually influence the subconscious. For example, but the word but is, and the word and, these are like some connection words which, when spoken out within a sentence, instantly trigger a subconscious reactions of the customer. So when you actually build your sentences in a specific way, you will always be able to address the subconscious. So actually, I'm talking, when I'm saying that the best way, when you're a really good sales guy, you are able to hypnotize your customer. What does it mean? You just create such a strong connection, surpassing the conscious, that you are able to directly speak to the core of your customers' considerations about a specific need, and about a specific problem and challenge. And because you can do this, and you can do it with short questions, with two tacted questions, a sentence which is tacted in two parts, like, for example, what is your main interest in this topic, what's your company main interest or the main challenge. When you ask this type of questions, you are addressing, you're in the way you are doing this, so how you'd say this, how you attack this, how you phrase it, you are actually addressing instantly the subconscious of your customer. And it's highly effective. Like, I know what I'm talking about. I'm good at what I'm doing, and customers love to speak with me, actually, not because I'm this great guy who, extremely talented, whatever. I just learned this, and yes, I have an motivation and an ambition to learn this, and it's all good for a good reason. So there is now no shenanigan. You don't manipulate your customer into a bad corner, but you somehow find out about his needs and his desires much quicker and much faster than when you use just only a language which is working only with a conscious level. And so I strongly recommend you to listen to my video about the 5 questions which the customer is asking himself when picking up a phone from a stranger, and also about the introduction which I'm talking about, because this type of introduction and questions, this is actually already like the result of many efforts of people who have been working on cold calling and who've been using these methods, which are addressing subconscious questions of the customer. So yeah, so that's it. It's worth to learn this stuff, so it's worth to read such books. So my recommendation on these books are The Art of Persuasion, Andrzej Batko, Andrzej, Andrzej, The Art of Persuasion, The Language of Influence and Manipulation. So beautiful book. I went through it many times, and so yeah, it helps to phrase your sentence in a way which makes your customer or your negotiation partner much more open to your questions, to your requests, to your asks, and to the things which you achieve. So you are much faster able to create a win-win situation, actually, because this is what sales is all about. And the other book, which I can recommend, it's in English, Hot for Cold Calling in 45 Minutes. It is actually by my mentor, written by my mentor, Tim Taxis. It's a little bit a shame that you don't have the other resources which I was able to use when learning cold calling, which is the German-speaking book. It's actually the same, but then there is a German-speaking audio book, which is a couple of hours long, I think 7, which I went through a couple of times, and also an online training, which is just giving you like completely the very, very high insights of what cold calling is about. And actually, I can use these techniques for many things, also for phrasing emails and for my multi-channel campaigns, because when you know what the principle behind, for example, the principle behind short statements, just saying, okay, according to the Forrester Radius study, we are one of the we are the market leader, and from when it's regarding automation, we are delivering any kind of service, from automation via automation orchestration to intelligent automation. When you know that this type of statement is completely enough when you transition then afterwards to a question to satisfy the subconscious of your customer, then you realize that you can get to your result in a much quicker way. So actually you think that this discussion types of calling, where you just I don't know, back and forth, you discuss arguments with your customer, it's just a waste of time, because you will waste. Maybe you can get to the same result, I doubt it, but if you get there, you will possibly waste a lot of time. So I was able to reduce the time of calling to run about on an average 7 minutes until to get to a close, from 25 minutes before or something. So actually, also in terms of efficiency, highly effective, and I strongly recommend you to learn it. Maybe there is an NLP to learn NLP. I will get into this, possibly to get deeper into this. Obviously, this type of techniques, they should be used only for the good reason of creating a win-win situation. You as a salesperson, and this is my understanding of being a salesperson, is to be a resource for the customer and not to be a sales pitch. I hope you had something out of this video. I really make it for the benefit, with the motivation for the benefit of everyone. I hope you enjoy it, and then please hit the like button if you like what I said, what I do here. And speak soon. Thank you. Goodbye.